Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Expectations Video Store. I'm James.
And I'm Ben.
And today we are doing a special episode. This is a Cutting the Cult episode. And we are doing Near Dark.
Near Dark, 1987, directed by Catherine Bigelow, written by Catherine Bigelow and Eric Reed. Also, we got quite the cast. We've got Adrian Pastar, Jenny Wright, Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, Jeanette Goldstein, Tim Thomerson, Joshua Miller. Quite the cast.
Yeah. Oh, you only need to really know like four of them, though.
Yeah, the late great Bill Paxton, I think, really kind of steals the show in a lot of this movie. But yeah, let's talk about it, man, because this is a weird one that like slipped under our radar up until now, which is crazy. Like, I'd never seen this on TV. I'd never really heard it referenced.
I'd never even heard of it at all.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like a really good film and a really great cast, and just it's weird. I'm surprised it doesn't get more love.
Yeah, and what's cool, I mean, you got this recommended from, was it Sean Clark, right?
Yeah, Sean Clark originally. Yeah, Malfunction. Check out the interview I did on What a Week It's Been on Unfazed Review with him. And then we actually are friends with a guy named Larry Bartels who worked on this film. And we'll insert some different segments of an interview we did with Larry recently. That's pretty cool. He did the double work and the stunt work for Bill Paxton on the film. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember... I think I watched like some of your interview with him before, and he was mostly when like Bill Paxton was on fire, right? Where he got hit by the car, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to look for it, like, because I know what he looks like, and I mean, they did a great job.
They did a great job, yeah. But yeah, I've seen some pictures too of him where he's like actually in the makeup and stuff, and it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, insert pictures here somewhere.
Pretty cool. Yeah, they did a tremendous job. They did a tremendous job. But yeah, what were your initial thoughts on this? Because I watched it about maybe a little over a month ago, so it's not as fresh in mind, but I still really enjoyed it. But you just watched it, what, yesterday?
Yeah, I just watched it yesterday.
So yeah, kick it off. Like, tell me about your initial thoughts.
So I had literally no expectations at all going in this film. I had no idea what it was about. When I was watching this movie, I was like, this is a little cheesy in the beginning. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then boom, I'm like, is this a vampire movie? And then sure enough, it is a vampire movie, and I would say a very well done.
Very well done. I would say for me, this is like up there with like Lost Boys level.
I
like agree. It's a really good movie.
I had to look it up too, because these were actually like versus each other back in then. It was Lost Boys in this movie, in which again never knew this existed.
No, didn't know.
Always a Lost Boy fan, and then I feel like they're very different in a way, like,
which is great. Yeah, it strengthens them, because it would suck if they were just carbon copies of each other. You know. But they did a wonderful job. And I find it weird. It almost feels like we fell into like an alternate universe or a different dimension, where like this is like a movie that like somehow slipped past us. Like it seems like we fell into another timeline where like this is a classic, like a cult classic. And I'm like, dude, why have I never heard of this?
Yeah, and I mean, and also directed by Catherine Bigelow. She did huge. Hurt Locker, Point Break. And I'm like, how did I never even like seen this? How I've never heard of it?
It's weird, yeah. And it's one of those where actually when I met up with our friend Larry at Gathering of the Ghouls, I was walking around with a copy of Near Dark that I had because I wanted Larry to sign it. So I had him sign a copy of that and a copy of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And as I was walking around with it, I had a couple come up to me and they were like, hey, where'd you get that? I was like, what? And they're like, the Near Dark, like DVD, and not Blu-ray, DVD. It's hard to get a copy of this. And I was like, oh, I bought it at Bookman's. And they're like, oh shit, we thought people were selling like copies here. And like, I guess it's like really like highly coveted and like a lot of people want it.
I've only seen a few copies. I mean, luckily mine's up there. I should have brought it down. Yeah, it's M, and there it is if you want to grab it. Yeah, but I've seen it at Zia, and I think the version you have is probably like the deluxe version. It was like I think it's like $30 to $50. That's why it's rare. It's like you can't, and they don't have this on Blu-ray at all. It's only strictly DVD. And I got lucky with this one. I've never even seen this copy. I don't even know if like, seems like a bootlegged copy. It's
a nice copy.
But honestly, when I was watching this, dude, the picture quality and everything, really good. Like,
absolutely. And yours, I think on the bottom it says THX.
Yeah, you get to see the whole like intro. It does that little theme.
So nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
mine was pretty cool. I don't know if there's any actual difference on like the discs that we have, but the copy that I got was like, I want to say $28-30 at Bookman's over here in Arizona. And Yeah, like it's like pretty sweet. It has like a pretty good booklet that comes with it, and it's like double disc with bonus features and stuff. And it's really cool. And when I played it on the PlayStation, watching it at home, like it looked super nice.
Yeah,
like
I watched it on the PlayStation as well.
Here's the interesting thing too that I've noticed with Blu-rays, and I feel like not enough people talk about this, but this is like the perfect place to talk about it. Blu-rays sound kind of suck. Like whenever I'm watching a Blu-ray, like I feel like you have to like really crank the volume, and like they're not equalized really well.
I don't know if it was a Blu-ray or it's just because of the fact like it was DVD, right?
Oh, I'm not talking about this. I was going to say the DVD sounded good.
Oh, mine did not sound.
Oh, yours did not sound good.
I had to crank it up. So I don't. I think honestly, I think it was just a copy. Like maybe it was your copy too.
Okay.
The main character, I don't know the actor's name, Nathan Petrelli from Heroes. That's all I know him from.
Yeah.
His dialogue in the intro was like very quiet, but
Adrian Pastar.
Yeah, Adrian Pastar.
Yeah.
Everyone else's voices were really like high pitched and everything. Louder.
Yeah. On my copy, I didn't have any problems hearing them, but I was just saying in general, some of these titles that we review, like you can only find them on DVD. So I've been like going back into my DVD collection, and I've noticed generally the sound is better on older DVDs than on Blu-rays. It just in general as like a rule of thumb.
It's certain ones.
Okay.
Well, because they mix them and I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it just seems like on Blu-rays, like the mixing isn't done as well, where like the music will be blasting like super loud.
Yeah.
Then they'll talk and it's like you have to crank it up to like 70 on your TV.
I think with a lot of them, like I'll agree with you on this, is when it comes to the 4K movies, because I don't know, they can't get them right. Like the 4K movies, they're struggling. It'll look nice, but it's not quite there. The audio is almost there.
Yeah.
I still enjoy them, but I still go back and forth with DVD and Blu-rays because I mean you can look at more DVDs and Blu-rays.
Well, just the other day, speaking of, actually, we do have a James Cameron connection on this film. Catherine Bigelow was dating James Cameron at the time this was made.
See, that makes sense because I was curious with like the actors in there. I was like, dude, this seems like this could have been a James Cameron movie.
Yeah, and that's what I thought because when I started watching it, I went in totally with no expectations, and I didn't know who directed it. I didn't even notice the credits. I was just kind of just like kicking back on the couch, just watching it, just half paying attention until it really like drew me in, you know? And then I was like, man, this seems like James Cameron was involved because like you had the actress who was in Aliens, Jeanette Goldstein, who also was John Connor's foster mom in Terminator 2.
Lance Henriksen.
You had Bill Paxton, who was in Aliens and who was also in the first Terminator, his first movie.
Well, he was in every single James Cameron movie up till he passed away.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then also, who else did we have? Lance Henriksen from Aliens. You had a lot of James Cameron collaborators. So apparently he was porking Catherine Bigelow at that point in time, and then they became husband and wife later on, and then eventually got divorced, as many Hollywood marriages go. But he was like, "Hey, I already have this ready-made cast of most of the guys from Aliens. Like, let's use them as the cast," which was great.
It's crazy because you don't like in this. No producer, no James Cameron, nothing tied to do it. Like when I was looking for it, like in the credits, I'm like, maybe it's in there, but I did not see
He seems like he would have gotten some sort of at least associate producer credit or something. Yeah. But maybe he wanted Catherine to do it on her own. I don't know. And also another James Cameron collaborator that's in there, if you can find the clip of it, is the guy from the biker bar from T2 who like gets thrown onto the grill and Arnold ends up taking his jacket and motorcycle. That guy is also one of the tough guys in the bar towards the end of Near Dark.
Yeah, that's the same bar in T2. Did you know that?
It's a fun fact.
I don't know.
No, it's not. They don't look anything alike. But man, what a great freaking movie though. So shout out to Larry for coming in on this episode and talking about his time on the movie. We'll have that towards the end, where you can see his interview. Stick around for that. And just what a cool freaking film, man. Had it not been for him and Sean Clark, I probably wouldn't have watched this movie for another 10 years, or who knows if I would have watched it at all.
Yeah, I'm glad I own this. I'm glad I have this in my collection.
It's a great movie,
good one.
man.
I will say it's a great, like, especially, it's October time, guys, and it's Halloween. This is a good one to watch.
Cutting the cult, baby.
Yeah, Cutting the Cult. This is a great film to watch during Halloween.
110%, dude. So I guess, let's talk about some of your favorite parts. Like, what parts of this movie did you like? At what point did it really draw you in? And then what were like 2 or 3 of your favorite parts from this film?
I think when he first got bit, because that's when I was like, okay, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand this was a vampire movie. And then I was like, okay, he got bit. She's freaking out about this son this entire time. Like, she needs to get home.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's where it pulled me in. But I think that took like 15 minutes in the film.
It had really good pacing. I want to say like it really like got to that point. I'd say about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think I only paused it once, and that was just I had to go to the restroom.
It was well paced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was well paced.
I love Bill Paxton there. He's a perfect, like, I like him always being like a charming, like, kind of like asshole guy, and he still does it in here, but he's more of like a villain in here.
He's a villain,
which is weird to see, because I'm used to see him so charming in like Twister, or like, I mean, even in Aliens, he had like some kind of charm, but he was still a little punk in there. But here, he's a bad guy. So Bill Paxton in there was pretty cool. See, the cast was great. The violence was cool. I like the fact that there's a little kid vampire, and like they're playing poker, and he's like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's I don't know. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of good scenes in there. I mean, what were yours?
I really like the scene. Well, here's also one that I liked, but I also feel like it was a missed opportunity. The scene where they try to carjack Lance Henriksen and his girlfriend, Jeanette, what's her face? Jeanette Goldstein, where they're like in the car, and then the guy comes in, he's like clearly gonna like molest her, and they're like holding him hostage.
That was a great scene.
And that one, like, I was hoping to see like actually them like tear them apart and get violent, but they didn't show it. They left it up to your imagination, which some people like, you know, because you're like, oh well, you know, it leaves it up to interpretation. But at the same time, like, I feel like that was a missed opportunity for like a really cool gory scene.
Yeah, they were doing the whole like kind of montage of like how they hunt, and I think they should have specifically shown that one scene,
because that one, it would have been a satisfying kill. So that one, I think, was a missed opportunity, but I really like the build up to it. And I like that whole sequence of showing how they hunt and getting in with the trucker and stuff, and Caleb like not having the balls to actually go through with it at that point. Like, that was a great scene.
The trucker was weird, man.
The trucker was weird. The whole bar sequence I loved. Like, that was like really, you know, it had a lot of tension to it. That was like, oh, this shit's serious, you know?
I'm glad that he didn't, like, spoiler, and didn't kill that. I can't say who it is.
Spoiler alert.
But Caleb didn't kill one person in the bar, and I'm glad that he didn't, because I was like, he seemed like the most innocent person in there.
Exactly,
so I was like, oh yeah, let the guy go. Like, that was good. I do like the whole, like, anytime that they were like dealing with the son. Yeah, I like that when they're like taping up the car.
It was cool. There were parts of it that kind of, sorry to cut you off, but to compliment what you're saying. It reminded me a little bit of John Carpenter's Vampires.
I was gonna get there.
There was a vibe.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, this has a very vampires vibe, which I think we should bring that one too, like in a kind of.
I love that.
I think we should watch that
movie. Here's the funny thing I will say about that, and I will thank James for this. When we were kids, I remember watching that. I've always been a big John Carpenter freak. Like, he's one of my favorite directors of all time. And I remember you lending me John Carpenter's Vampires. And the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't get this. It seems cheesy. It seems low budget. I wasn't a fan. And then I rewatched it again maybe a year or two ago, and I freaking loved it. Like, it was so good. And I was like, dude, what was I smoking when I was a teenager, where I was like, I didn't appreciate it. So I fully take that back. Vampires is a great movie, and I think it's one of John Carpenter's best.
Yeah. This was up there. Like, there's a lot of vampire movies, I guess, around that year. This one was From Dusk Till Dawn. Was that
From Dusk Till Dawn? Was 90s. That was like, I want to say like 95.
Yeah. I think this is the earliest one, right? Or is this later? What year was this?
This was 87.
87. Okay.
This was 87. But that's one thing I loved about it too, man. It was like kind of a different approach to vampires that I hadn't really seen before. Not that I'm like a huge connoisseur of vampire movies, but I appreciate them, you know? Love The Lost Boys. I like Interview with the Vampire. It's like, I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Underworld is great.
Yeah. There's another one too. It's group of like teenagers. It's called Forsaken. I think I have it up there too as well. That's a good one as well. I think I need to let you watch that one too.
Hell yeah. Also another one I really like is Hubie Halloween.
Dude, you know what's funny? I'm sorry. Like, okay, my brother watched that today.
Really?
He sent me a little snap. He was watching it, and we watched it last weekend.
That's weird. Okay.
So maybe because it's Halloween time, and then I was like, you know what? I want to watch an Adam Sandler movie. And I put Hubie on. It's stupid, but it's fun.
There's so many. We'll go back to the cutting the cult in a second, guys. We gotta talk Sandman for a minute, dude. Oh, no. There's so many Netflix Sandler movies that just miss the mark, but you're glad he's making them. Like, I'm glad I love Sandler. We're huge Adam Sandler fans. Nothing but respect for him. Even when he does his serious stuff, it's cool. It's neat to see him branching out. But there is something I gotta say, even as a huge fan, with the Netflix movies, where it feels like they just miss the mark. Like, it's like, it always feels like they're kind of like half-baked ideas that they like green light just because it's like someone like Adam Sandler behind it.
That's what I'm thinking, is the fact, like, okay, he has more control. Yeah. And then maybe this is a time where, like, okay, maybe the studio does need to butt in a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Netflix is giving him a little bit full range, but he's having fun with his friends, which I respect.
I love it. And I hope he never stops. Like, I want Sandler to be making movies until he's 100, you know? But there is something to be said about stuff like Hubie Halloween, or, you know, what was the one he did with Jennifer Aniston?
Not that one. Murder Mystery.
Murder Mystery 2.
1 and 2. Yeah.
And then even movies like Hustle, which was good and dramatic, but there's always something about it that feels like a little half-baked, like almost like the first time you write a script and you're just kind of like new at it and you put it out there and you're kind of like, all right, but like maybe it needs a little collaboration, or it needs a rewrite, or you know what I mean?
It needs a little Ben Sterick.
It needs a little Ben Sterick, but yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I love Sandler, but Hubie Halloween and stuff, I'll go back and watch it, but it doesn't feel like it's the caliber of like Anger Management or Mr. Deeds or Happy Gilmore or Big Daddy.
I think we agree on this. The last good one was like Just Go With It.
Just Go With It was his last like really great, hilarious comedy that really felt real. I don't know if I'm the only one who really liked it, but I liked The Do-Over with David Spade.
You know what? That one for Netflix, that was good. Probably his best Netflix.
That was probably the best.
Right behind Ridiculous 6.
That means he likes you.
I did not like Ridiculous 6 at all. It was a piece of crap. Although I love the cast. Yeah. But I would say one of the best Netflix comedies I've ever seen ever is also a Happy Madison, and it is The Wrong Missy.
Yep.
With David Spade. That was like one of the funniest comedies of, I would say, the last decade. Yep. Like, was that in the 2020s?
It was in the 2020s. Yeah.
Okay, so this decade, yeah. But just shout out to David Spade, man. But anyway, with all that said, not talking shit about Sandler, I'm just saying I think his earlier stuff pre-Netflix was better in quality than a lot of the stuff on Netflix. But still glad he's making it.
So glad. We'll see what's going on with Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah. I wonder if Bill Paxton ever collaborated with Adam Sandler. I don't think so. No, I don't think we ever got it.
No.
That's too bad. Missed opportunity, guys. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into it. Great freaking movie though, dude. Like, I'm just gonna say right now, 110% worthy of cult status for Cutting the Cult.
Yes,
I know I usually say that at the end, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way right now. Totally worth it. This does not belong on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, this is
worthy of cult status.
This is definitely a cult classic. I will have to agree. Dude, totally worthy, like you said. Mm-hmm. Honestly, top 10 probably vampire movies. It's really up there. I really enjoy this movie.
I would dare say, yeah, it may be cracking the top 10 for it. Definitely it's top 20.
Yeah.
Not top 20 for sure. Another one I really want to watch, comment below if you guys care and if you're interested in this, but I want to watch Dracula, the Mexican version. Are you familiar with the Mexican version?
Nah.
So they back when they were filming the Bela Lugosi Dracula originally, they had all the sets and everything, and they're like, well, we want to capitalize on like the international market and make a Spanish speaking version. Bela didn't know how to speak Spanish. Most of the supporting cast didn't. So they brought in Mexican actors who spoke Spanish to come in, and they utilized all the sets in the off hours. So like when Bela Lugosi's Dracula was filming during the day, as soon as they were done, the Spanish speaking crew would come in, or the cast, and they would use all the same sets and everything. And they filmed a movie back to back at the same exact time.
So was it the exact same movie?
The exact same movie, but different actors. And a lot of people say that the Spanish version is superior because the director had like more creative angles and stuff. And like, it was just, according to a lot of people, a lot better. So if you'd be interested in watching the Mexican Dracula.
What year is that? Like, is it
same year? It was like done at the same time.
Yeah, but wait, I don't even know what year.
I want to say like 31.
I was gonna say it's like 30s, right?
Yeah, I want to say 31, but I think that would be really cool, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone like actually like review it. So it might be cool.
And it still ties into Universal.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So let's see. Let's see. Did you find it? 1931. Sweet.
That's cool.
So maybe we'll do that a little closer to Halloween. But yeah, speaking of vampires. But yeah, let's get back to Near Dark. So I want to actually run through some fun facts on this guy because, like I said, we got the Larry interview for you at the end so you guys can hear some BTS. That means behind the scenes. But let's see. According to Bill Paxton, the driver that gives him the finger when he's hitchhiking is played by none other than James Cameron, who had visited the set that day.
Okay.
And
he did more than that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he was really busy in the trailer with Catherine Bigelow doing script rewrites. Mm-hmm. Blowjob.
Give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
Okay, so according to Lance Henriksen, he prepared for his role of Jesse by coming up with a background for his character and acting it out. The origin story he came up with was that Jesse was in the Confederate Navy when he became a vampire. Henriksen painted his hair black with tar, since that was an actual thing seamen did in the 1800s. Shout out to Alan. He then added broken fake nails to make his fingers look like the extensions of his fingers' bones. And went to town at night like that while in character. These method actors, you gotta love them. He managed to scare a waitress in Denny's and a hitchhiker twice his size he picked up on the road one night. The hitchhiker quickly asked to leave his car as soon as they drove up to the first inhabited area. So Henriksen, without revealing that he was just an actor messing with the guy, gave the man $80 he had on him for being a good sport. Henriksen always jokingly adds that he was lucky since the hitchhiker could have easily overpowered him in a fight, make him cry like a baby.
Oh,
There you go.
Okay. Is it already ready for me?
Yeah, go ahead.
During filming, the cast and crew had to deal with a train that would stop at the same intersection every night. One night, Bill Paxton, in full makeup and half of his face missing, saw one of the train workers leave the diesel engine and went up to him saying, "Hey man, there's been an accident. And if you think I'm bad, wait till you see the other guy."
That's funny.
So he's being a little snarky boy.
That's funny. Insert picture of Bill Paxton here.
Yeah. Oh, this is kind of cool. This film marked Catherine Bigelow's first solo directorial effort, and the film producers Edward S. Feldman told that if she could handle or didn't know what she was doing while filming, after 5 days she would be replaced. So she kept the job.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah.
She went on to have quite the career. What was interesting that I saw she did, I was kind of looking at her IMDb. You can do another fun fact too, but I feel like the one I read was long as hell. But the filmography of hers was very interesting because it seems like she was very selective with the movies she would direct. Like she would take quite a few years off. She wasn't as prolific as
Well, yeah, I never knew that she, I guess she was she's how old now? I mean, she's born from 1950s.
112? Okay.
Yes,
I'm
she's
joking.
a vampire.
I'm just kidding.
But I only knew her from certain movies, like I said, Point Break. I never realized it. I actually know her name from Hurt Locker.
Interesting.
And after that, I was like, okay, let me look her up. And then it was those movies, and I was like, oh, she did this, and this. But she has really, like you said, a great library. She's selective with her movies.
She's very selective. Also, she did K-19, The Widowmaker with Harrison Ford, kind of an underrated Harrison Ford movie. And I remember seeing that in theaters when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, that's crazy she did that. But I would say the biggest one, most notable film of hers is probably Point Break.
Yeah, Point Break.
Yeah, which is a freaking masterpiece.
I am an FBI agent!
But sorry, continue with the factoids.
I think this one's kind of cool because this was something I was curious about with the movie too. If the vampires follow certain vampire rules, at the start of the of the bungalow gunfight scene, a cross can be seen in the handle of Jesse's pistol, alluding to the idea that these vampires do not follow the same rules of traditional vampires mythology. So I was like, can they see the reflection? Can they? I mean, the only thing I saw was basically burning, and then apparently they can walk anywhere inside.
Yeah, another thing about this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, to the eagle-eye viewers, they never say vampire in this film. The vampire word is never mentioned.
It's just like a disease or something.
Yeah, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
do one more. Let's do one more.
Bigelow's 72.
Yeah, so Catherine Bigelow, 72.
Still looking good.
She's pretty old.
She looks very good.
Yeah, I thought she was a lot younger. Because the Hurt Locker, I was like, I thought she was this new director that I was like, oh, she did.
I would
Point Break.
If you would have asked me, if I didn't know about Near Dark, and you would have asked me how old Catherine Bigelow is, I would have said maybe 50.
Yeah,
and she looks beautiful still. Look at her. Yeah.
Oh, here's this goes on to the one I said last time. The vampire mythology in this film is left deliberately vague and never seen if they cast reflections in a mirror or if they are affected by holy objects, roses, garlic, running water, etc. It is seen that they are extremely strong, non-aging, surviving on human blood, cold to the touch, destroyed by sunlight and fire, but cannot be killed by most conventional methods.
That's why you don't see any Italian vampires, because they love the garlic.
Oh,
very nice. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Really good. I want to do one more fun fact.
Okay.
Bill Paxton ad-libbed both the theft of the sunglasses and the line, "I hate it when they ain't been shaved."
I hate them when they ain't been shaved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what a legend.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I just gotta say, man, I feel like this year it like really came to my attention how great of an actor Bill Paxton was. Like we always grew up with him. Like he was always there like in our movies and we just kind of took him for granted. He's one of those guys kind of like, I almost want to say like Jeff Bridges in a way where you just kind of just take them for granted. They're just always there and you appreciate them. But now that you really realize, he's been gone for a long time. I think he passed away in like 2016, something like that. I think
so. Yeah.
Which sucks, rest in peace to him. Just a super talented actor. But this year it really hit home because I went and saw Twister on the big screen, for the anniversary, and then watching this, and I was just like, dude, he was freaking great, man.
I think I watched like 3 Bill Paxton movies this year, 3 or 4 now.
What a legend, man.
Twister, Aliens, and this Near Dark.
Yeah, so good, man. But that's one actor that I wish we got at least another 10 years, of films from him, because he's so real, man. Like there's some actors where you look at him and it just seems effortless. Like there's something about it. And Bill Paxton is one of those guys where just like, I don't know, he just has it. He has that it factor. He has that certain something that I almost feel like can't be taught, where like when he's saying the lines, you're never thinking like, oh, this guy's acting, this guy's reciting something from a script. It's like, no, he's just he's that character, And there's just a few actors I can think of that are like Sam Rockwell's like that, where it's just like, oh, it's just so organic. Like it just, I admire that. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, Willem Dafoe. Shout out to Willem. Bill Paxton, I'm glad in a way never got like wrapped up in the whole like MCU or anything like that, or it's kind of better.
I think.
I mean, maybe he had an appearance. I don't know.
No, probably not. I think the MCU popped off a little bit later after like him passing away. Well, it was 2017. Actually, I think that was 2017.
But I mean, he still had stuff like, I mean, the first Iron Man was like 08.
Well, yeah, but I think I don't know. Who would he be in there? Like, I think it's just like a general.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be in like the Captain America world or something, or maybe they'd make him like a good guy who turns into a bad guy. But I'm kind of glad they didn't. Like, I feel like. I get a lot of people do it for the movie, but it kind of like, or for the money, but it kind of like cheapens them sometimes.
Yeah, I'm glad that some actors don't do Marvel movies.
Yeah,
you're like stuck doing that. That's a contract you're in for. Like,
I mean, it's a good problem to have, but
Yeah.
But then you look at, and then there's some people who it just doesn't affect them. Like Jeff Bridges was in there. I keep going back to Jeff Bridges, but he's just such a damn good actor. But Jake Gyllenhaal, as Mysterio, and I'm just like, Jake Gyllenhaal is so beyond being Mysterio, but like it's still cool that we got it. Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, also Bill Paxton, one of his final movies was Nightcrawler. He was in Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty sick.
Great movie,
dude. That's one we should do. Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
that would be a masterpiece. So, have you seen Nightcrawler, Kim? Oh my god, it's so good.
It's so real.
So let's get back into this. I'm gonna do one more fun fact. I feel like these are so interesting. Catherine Bigelow views Loy as the father of the day and Jesse as the father of the night. That would mean more if I remembered which characters those were.
Yeah, I'm like, who's Loy? Is Loy the kid?
I don't remember. Included among the American Film Institute's 2001 list of 400 movies nominated for top 100 most heart-pounding American movies. Okay. I feel like it's just such a big spectrum of movies. Like it doesn't mean anything, But it was a great movie. It was a great movie. But I don't know. 400 movies nominated. Come on. I feel like if it's in the top 10 of something, it's a little more impressive. I think our rating was better, making it in the top 10 of vampire movies. Last one. The bar scene was filmed near Magic Mountain at the Newhall Ranch, and they built the bar from scratch, knowing they intended to destroy it. It's the film's most complicated scene and took the longest to shoot. Fun fact. The bar scene.
I could see that. A lot was going down in that.
100%, man. But yeah, this movie was great. I was kind of thinking too, like, when you're watching Netflix and it's like similar titles and it's like recommending you other things to watch after you're done watching this, what would be 3 that you would recommend?
I think we already listed some of them. Like I for sure Vampires with John Carpenter.
110%.
A lot of John Carpenter movies actually I would recommend in this one.
Yeah.
Gosh, what's that other vampire movie he did? It was really weird. It's like they're stuck in a church. I own it.
Oh yeah, the one with Donald Pleasant. Or no, Sam Neill. You think the one with Sam Neill?
No,
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Forget. John Carpenter movies recommend. Forsaken.
Stuart Little.
Like I said. From Dusk Till Dawn as well. I just think that it just fits well. Lost Boys.
100%.
You know what? I'm gonna throw the Goonies in there too.
Yeah,
just some.
I would do it.
Oh, you know what? Joyride. I think Joyride. Because I think it'd be a good one for. I don't know. They're just traveling on the road the entire time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's those Those
I'm
4 or
gonna
5.
agree with all those. I'm trying to think of any that are different.
Prince of Darkness. That's the one.
Prince of freaking Darkness.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Purple Rain. Anyway, different Prince. But yeah, I would say, a movie that came to mind, and it'll actually kind of go into my alternate castings a little bit, was a movie called River's Edge, I think was the name of it, with Crispin Glover and Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I know what you're talking
And it was super. Did you ever watch it?
No, I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Super dark, super good, super disturbing. Not paranormal, not a vampire movie, but there was something about it. I think just because they were made right around the same time. I think they were like a year apart. Where I don't know, there was just something about it where the darkness. I was like, oh, maybe that'd be kind of a similar title. Of course, Lost Boys. Of course, vampires. Everything you said, I agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get into alternate castings?
Let's do it. Alternate casting.
All right, cool. You can kick us off with the alternate castings.
I'll kick it off.
Here you go, baby boy. I'm gonna pull this up for you. Here you go.
All right. So, Near Dark, Adrian Pastor, right?
Spaghetti.
I only know him from Heroes. Nathan Petrelli. He had the ability to fly in that TV show.
A good man, a brave man.
I did David Naughton. Is that how you say Naughton from
David.
American Werewolf in London?
Solid
I
choice.
think he would have been a great choice.
Talented actor, by the way.
Yes. For Bill Paxton, I feel like it was kind of hard to replace him, but I just went with another James Cameron collaborator, Michael Biehn.
Oh, Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn. Yeah. Fun fact, Michael Biehn has his own podcast now.
Does he?
Yeah, you guys should definitely watch it. As of the recording of this, it has like 4,000 subscribers. Like it's like brand new. It's so
It's going to
good.
be 4,001.
Get on it, guys. Shout out to Michael Biehn, big fan.
Jenny Wright, who was... I forgot her character. May.
Yeah, man.
I did Lori Petty. She is from Point Break.
Nice.
And Tank Girl.
Oh.
And it's funny because when I was casting, I didn't even think about Catherine Bigelow, Point Break.
Yeah.
Same girl. I didn't even think about it. I thought of Tank Girl first, and I was like, oh wait, that's the
Interesting.
same girl.
Good job.
Lance Henriksen, I did Willem Dafoe.
Nice.
I think it was kind of hard to recast him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then for director, I did Paul Verhoeven.
Nice.
Is that how you say his name?
RoboCop?
Yeah, RoboCop and Total Recall. I think his ability to mix graphic violence and social commentary and dark humor could have turned Near Dark into a more audacious, boundary-pushing horror western.
110%, man. Oh, I love the horror western.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's cool. Yeah. This is a horror
We need
western.
more of that. It is. Yeah, it takes place out in... Oh, fun fact.
And he's a cowboy.
We haven't even talked about this. This movie was filmed here in Arizona where we live.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the entire movie. One of the few films that was filmed. I mean, maybe I'd have to look, or we'd have...
Did they say Arizona at all in the movie?
No.
No.
But I mean, and who knows? We'd have to look. At the end of the film, maybe parts of California were used. I'm sure, but majority of the film was filmed in Arizona.
That's so cool.
Which is badass. Let me go into my
We're Arizona
alternate.
boys.
We are AZ boys, and there was something that was popping off in the late '80s that was going on, where it was like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was filmed here, which Larry Bartels, our friend, was a part of, and Near Dark. And what else did they work on?
That explains why he worked on both these.
Makes sense. I can't even think of any other movies that were filmed here because so few were filmed here.
Transformers.
Transformers.
Not in the 80s.
No. Up until the early 2000s, the only movie I can think of that was big that was filmed out here was The Kingdom. The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner. Yep. But aside from that, like hardly anything. Arizona really, pardon my French, up. You can bleep that on tax incentives for the state because New Mexico got that, and that's why Breaking Bad and everything was filmed out there. Breaking Bad originally was going to be set in Tucson, but they couldn't get the tax breaks, so they're like, okay, well, we're going to go to New Mexico then. Yeah. And you see how that worked out. So Arizona, get with it. Go back to how you were in the 80s, But yeah, let me go to my alternate castings. So for Bill Paxton, Severin, I picked Sean Penn.
It's a good one.
I thought Sean Penn would have been in his prime at that point in time. Lance Henriksen, Jesse, I picked Mickey Rourke.
That crossed my mind.
Interesting.
That crossed my mind.
Yeah, he would have been right about the right age. I was torn between Mickey Rourke and Eric Roberts, but I went for Mickey Rourke because he's a bit older. For Adrian Pastar, Caleb, I picked Andrew McCarthy, our boy from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh.
Yeah. And Less Than Zero, of course. I think he would have been like the good, innocent guy. At first, I had thought Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe did cross my mind, but I feel like he's too good looking.
I agree.
That's why I'm like, I don't want him in this. I want a rugged.
Yeah. So
I rugged guy in here.
I picked Andrew McCarthy because he's like so innocent, but at the same time, like he can be kind of funny. But like you see him in a movie like Less Than Zero, and you're like, oh shit, this guy has some acting chops, you know. For Jenny Wright, May, I picked Phoebe Cates from Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Gremlins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know from Gremlins, yeah.
Yep. And then for Jeanette Goldstein, Diamondback, I picked Linda Hamilton because I thought
nice.
Terminator, James Cameron, you know.
Good. Not bad.
Yeah. Mother figures to John Connor, basically. Jeanette Goldstein, I got to say, had a little bit of a crush on her in this movie. I was like, she's very, very pretty. Joshua Miller, the kid, Homer, I picked Joaquin Phoenix. I think Joaquin, he would have been a little bit older, but like it would have been cool to see like a teenager, like with an old man's soul, you know. For director, I picked Curtis Hanson, who did Bad Influence with Rob Lowe and James Spader, L.A. Confidential, and he also did 8 Mile.
Okay, I think out of all those, I've only seen 8 Mile.
8 Mile, yeah. But Bad Influence, freaking masterpiece. And that's I was kind of in this headspace of like darker movies from that era. Even though it's not a vampire movie or a paranormal movie, it just is like gritty and kind of had a similar feel to Near Dark. So like, I don't know. It just reminded me of it. Check out Bad Influence if you haven't, with Rob Lowe and James Spader. That movie is freaking fantastic. If you like stuff like this, if you like American Psycho, check it out. It's freaking awesome. And for writer, I picked Harley Payton, who wrote the screenplay adaptation for Less Than Zero, and he wrote a majority of the screenplay for Twin Peaks, the TV show.
Solid.
Thank you.
Solid.
All right. That took an eternity. Sorry, guys. But yeah, what can I say about this movie? Freaking fantastic. I wish we got more vampire movies like this. And I feel, did you say alternate director?
Yeah.
Who would you say?
It was Paul
Verhoeven. Duh. Yeah. But if those guys weren't available, this also kind of feels like it could have been in like the John Carpenter universe.
Yeah, I wanted to do it.
It's almost too obvious.
I was like, it's nah. When he had vampires and then Prince of Darkness, I'm like, I guess, yeah, he did 2 vampire movies, which is cool.
Yeah.
Solid. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, what do you think on star rating?
This one's up there. I think this is really enjoyable. I might watch this probably every year.
I would say so. Yeah, it's maybe a biannual.
4. I don't want to do 4.5, but I'm gonna do with a 4. I'm gonna do 4. 4 out of 5. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Man, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, there were a couple missed opportunities in terms of action in there, but great cast, super underrated, 100% worthy of cult status. This one is one of the rare cutting the cults where we're like 2 thumbs up. This is great. Man, I'm going to go solid 4 out of 5 as well. This is a solid 4. I almost dare say for Bill Paxton, though, I almost want to push it up to like a 4.2. Let's meet in between. We'll go 4.1. This is a 4.1 for me, but this is a great movie. Also, shout out to Larry Bartels. Interview coming up in just a second. Also, check out Larry's channel, Be Yourself Adventures. Very cool stuff. Grateful to have him collaborate with us. And yeah, check out Near Dark, because this movie is just so freaking unique. Totally flies under the radar. And had I not heard about it from Sean Clark or Larry, I don't think I would have watched this maybe ever,
seen this
or it would have taken me another 10, 20 years to watch it.
Yep.
But yeah, freaking great. And RIP Bill Paxton.
Yep. Great movie, fun vampire movie. Special effects,
solid.
Solid. I want to say like they're the greatest, but I think they did a fantastic job of like them exploding, them getting on fire.
Yeah,
I think the movie only lacked, like, if it want to push it at 0.2 or 0.3, whatever, or 0.5 star.
Yeah,
I think it needed more blood and maybe a little bit of gore for just being a vampire film.
Before we get into our Larry interview, stick around for that. Let's pretend you could add, let's say you have the ability to do an extended cut of this. What would be 2 scenes you'd like to either add on to and see more of, or other scenarios you'd like them to be in?
Well, Ben loves throwing these scenarios all the time at me, and I have to just come up with them on the spot. I've got to come up with one, I think, that I know of, like, top of my head. I wanted them to play a little bit more on their strength, and especially for I watched this yesterday, and I can't think of the main character's name. Caleb. I think they should have played on his little strength a little bit more, and maybe him actually like hurting someone, and also maybe Bill Paxton actually like ripping some guy's arm off.
That would have been sweet.
Their head off. I think it just lacked that, and I don't really consider that gore. I think it's just, I don't know, just tear a limb off or something. Use their strength. I think it would have been cool. Maybe no, I like the mysteriness of like not showing like they're vampires, so I would probably not do anything different with that.
Sure.
But yeah, maybe I don't know, show a little bit more of them being vampires, maybe like flying or doing, I don't know, like
I get it.
like I said, there was something lacking, was just in the special effects department.
I can see it.
But for what it is, I don't know how big the budget was.
It seemed smaller.
It did seem really small,
And they did, but it seemed like one of those where they did a good job with a smaller budget, kind of like in the realm of, oh shit, I want to say First Blood just because it's one of the last things we reviewed.
Yeah.
But First Blood was not a small budget movie, but I think they had a pretty big budget actually.
which go back and watch, guys. It was
Yeah.
really great.
That was one of our really funny
Yeah,
episodes.
I like that one.
Yeah. But I think, sorry, finish what you're saying?
Oh no, like I just think it just lacked special effects. I think it just needed more of that. I don't know, show them being more of vampires. Show them in the like hunting more. I think that's what it just needed. Like I think it just needed something with that.
Yeah, I would say, and like I said, this movie was very strong. I really liked it, but like in The Lost Boys, there's that bridge scene where they're dangling and it's so iconic. That's like a super memorable scene.
Yeah.
I kind of feel, not to knock Near Dark, but I feel like it was kind of missing a few like landmark scenes like that, like super iconic
Yeah,
scenes.
I think that's what basically I was trying to say. Like it needed something.
There was a little something missing, but like I said, still anything that gets above 4 stars is a great film.
Yes.
So like it's a big honor. You know, we're kind of tough critics in that respect, where it's like we don't generally give those out willy-nilly, you know, willy-nilly Nelson. But Willie, stupid. But yeah, I would say if I could add things to an extended cut, I would say the hunting scenes, like the ones where like those guys are trying to carjack them and like molest her. You know, I would have loved to have seen them like really getting killed and torn up. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little more exploration of like Bill Paxton with the bar crowd. Like maybe just he and Caleb's character go out on the town together, just the two of them with nobody else, and like get into trouble, like boys night out. And then he like goes way over the top, and like maybe they like meet these chicks or something, and like Caleb thinks they're gonna like make out and have a good time with them, and then Bill Paxton like bites one of their throats out or something, like some crazy shit like that. I would also say maybe what could have been cool would be like a run-in with the law, where they're like in the back of like a cop car or something and have to get out and end up like killing the cop or something.
Going back to that, because they do run into the law just briefly. Like it's just the whole shoot off in their little bungalow.
Yeah.
And then they just got away real easily. Like wasn't there like 3 cops there, like cars or something? Like
There was a lot. Yeah.
I feel like there should have been a chase. That's what I needed.
You know, a chase would have been sick, and then it would have been cool if one of them. Imagine this. Imagine if the little kid who played Homer like gets arrested and like, oh, we got to put you in like protective care. And when he's like at the police station, he's like in a room and he comes in and like eats the detective or something like crazy. That might be a bit much. I don't know, but something like that might be kind of fun.
I think the film just needed like another 15 minutes. Like,
Yeah, but that is a compliment, because like we liked it, we wanted more.
Yeah, we wanted more.
This is a movie that I think, I feel like there were so many crappy horror series back in the 80s that got all these sequels and didn't really deserve them, like The Howling, for instance. Yeah. And it's like, no offense if you liked it, you don't have the best taste, but hey, whatever. But a lot of people seem to really like that movie. Like, you guys are crazy. What are you talking about? The Howling was boring. The Howling was boring. The last half hour was decent, but The Howling was boring. Reevaluate it. But Near Dark was much better, far superior to The Howling, and I think Near Dark deserved a sequel or 2 or 3. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it get run into the ground with endless sequels through the 90s. That would have that would have been
like
sick.
you're telling me like getting shittier.
Well, I don't know about getting shittier, but maybe a little bit. But I mean, they always kind of tend to get shittier as the sequels go on. But I would have really liked that.
Yeah. I think it's just exploring the world more. That would have been cool.
Exactly.
If they redid something like this again, I think this would have been a perfect like TV show, like a good
100%
series.
kind of like they did with From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never watched it.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be kind.
Rewind.
And subscribe. And now stick around for our interview with Larry Bartels, talking about some behind the scenes from working on Near Dark 1987. Thank you guys for watching, and go support his channel as well.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, here we are with Larry Bartels, who is kind enough to join us to talk about his experience working on Near Dark. So, Larry, what exactly did you do on Near Dark?
I was Bill Paxton's double.
Sweet.
And did some stunt stuff.
That's
in
awesome.
the movie.
What was the most notable stunt or two from the movie that we'd recognize that you were in?
Being in that station wagon that gets caught on fire and then pooey blows up.
Crazy. Did you feel like you were ever in danger at any point?
A little bit.
Yeah?
A little bit.
Yeah?
It was a little scary.
Now, what was it like working with Bill Paxton? Because you were playing Bill Paxton's stunt double and body double in a lot of points.
Yeah.
What was he like as a person? Like, what were some of your interactions?
He was laid back. He was relaxed. He, just like anybody else. He wasn't, how would I say, you know how some actors are being kind of stuck up, per se.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He was a very, very relaxed person. He liked having conversations.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Now, how did you get involved with that production? Like, what was your entry point into that? Like, who did you know, or how did you get on board that set?
Well, I was finishing up at Bobby Ball Academy for acting.
Cool.
And I got a phone call basically stating, oh, we got a job for you as a stand-in in a movie. I said, all right, cool. Call me back later, say, unfortunately, we don't need you as a stand-in. So next day they called me up again, said, but we do have something else that you might like. How about be a double for Bill Paxton on Near Dark?
That's pretty cool. And were you already familiar with his work at that point, or was he pretty much a newbie?
He was still, he did like weird science and things like that.
Yeah.
But
he was definitely on his way up, right?
Correct.
That's cool. That's cool. What's your best and favorite Bill Paxton memory of you guys together?
Sitting out, standing outside, talking by the honey wagon, just having a long conversation.
That's awesome.
And I'm wearing his outfit while he's standing there relaxing.
That's cool. What kind of stuff did you guys talk about?
Oh my gosh, you're asking me something that happened in 1986. Just basically the set and the film, and talking about my first time being out there to work on a movie.
That's awesome.
So kind of the general stuff.
That's cool. And that was all filmed in Arizona, correct?
Correct. Casa Grande.
That's awesome. Now, what are your thoughts on bringing back the film industry to Arizona? How they're talking about building large studios out in like the Scottsdale area, I believe, and kind of like how they did out in New Mexico with the Netflix studios and stuff.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? Where do you think Arizona went wrong with the film, industry drying up out here a long time ago? And where do you think they could improve, with their future plans?
Well, they need to, it's the thing with the unionized and all this stuff and right to work state and what have you, a lot of things fell apart.
Yeah.
So a lot of people went out and they ended up going to New Mexico and other places. When it comes to studios, they've been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
Something like Amazon, Netflix, or what have you, studio like that, then I'm for it, definitely. But
awesome.
Arizona has great locations.
Yeah.
Sedona, the Southwest and Tucson, Old Tucson, Mescal, Patagonia area.
Yeah.
So, and you got the mountains, so it's a great place to film.
Absolutely, 110%. I hope they really bring it back and breathe some new life into the film industry here, because it's been dead for a long time, but it deserves to come back.
Yeah,
I think we could take a few notes from New Mexico, the way they did things, definitely, and Georgia too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How would you feel about a Near Dark sequel or spin-off or anything like that, or do you think it's something they should just leave alone?
I think it's just something, just let it be.
I agree.
Yeah, Near Dark was one of its own.
Absolutely.
There'll never be another Near Dark. It was a cowboy western vampire.
Absolutely.
So that was pretty much what it was.
Absolutely. Now you had a story of, didn't you almost have a date with Jenny Wright?
Almost.
Let's hear the story. Let's hear the juicy gossip.
The juicy gossip. She liked Adrian Pastar, and then she was looking at me and stuff like that, and she was kind of topsy-turvy on who she wanted to ask.
Wow.
And she was talking to me about that. She says, well, I would like to be able to maybe go out with you and stuff. So she was sweet.
That's awesome.
She really was.
We should give her a call.
Yeah, I should. The crew was great. Everybody was fantastic on set. And then getting the makeup.
Yeah.
That was fun. Getting all into the face, looked like it was burnt and charred.
It was very detailed, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did the hair and makeup on that?
Her name was Davida Simmons. Unfortunately, she passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was incredible. She
did a magnificent job on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was just so unique, and it's crazy that I had never seen it.
Yeah.
Up until just this year.
Oh, Lance Henriksen.
Amazing.
Oh, the other thing that was fun was riding back to the hotel with Lance Henriksen, and he's messing with his butterfly knife, going like this. He said, "Aren't you afraid you're going to cut your fingers?" He said, "Look at the scars on my fingers. That would tell you."
Wow. That's a very Lance Henriksen story.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Who was the most unpleasant person to work with on the set?
I would say Josh Miller.
Okay.
I mean, even though he's just a little kid, he seemed like he was just more all about himself.
The ego was coming in early?
Correct. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Gotcha.
Ego.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really follow his career long term, so hopefully he, maybe changed as he got older. But
yeah,
he said he was a little bit of an egomaniac at the time, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, I think because his dad was in The Exorcist, Jason Miller, and it ran it kind of in the family and stuff. So
maybe
he probably thinks it's all about maybe him.
Because he must have been like 12 at the time, or
something like that. Yeah, but he must have been a grown-up man.
Yeah, in a kid's body.
Right.
Yeah, I do love that concept though. It's kind of like Third Rock from the Sun, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the old guy in the kid's body.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully with Josh Miller, hopefully as he got older, maybe he kind of figured things out.
I'm sure.
That's awesome.
And Catherine Bigelow.
How was she?
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, what an icon, right?
Yeah. Probably one of the best bosses I've ever worked for.
Well, tell me a Catherine Bigelow story or just something you remember about her.
Just, her giving directions, talking to people. She's very, gives you ideas. She gave me where to stand, told me this is where I need you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's very communicative.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I liked her.
How about the screenwriter?
It was her and Eric Red.
Okay, how was he?
I saw him a couple times on set. He wasn't there very much.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And where can people follow you?
They can follow me at Be Yourself Adventures.
Awesome. I'll have a link for that down below.
Always be yourself.
Awesome. Larry Bartels, thanks, man.
Peace.
Appreciate you, bud.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so you found us. This is the behind the scenes post-credit NOX Cutting the Cult segment. What should we talk about, James?
So how was that video? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, it was fun.
Larry?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Larry and I actually went to a shop, Izzy's costume shop. It's like this horror paraphernalia costume shop, and did a vlog on his channel, Be Yourself Adventures. Check it out. And yeah, we recorded the interview.
I drove right by that, and I was like, I saw that you guys went there. I gotta take a step in there. It's a pretty interesting place.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah,
okay, cool.
It's like a classic small town costume shop. It's fun. It's good shit. Well, I hope you guys are ready for a month of spookiness. If you're watching this past October, good for you. You found a gem. If you're still watching in October, we got more spooky stuff coming your way. So stay tuned, my friend.
Should we let them know the next movie?
Oh yeah, the Burning.
Yep, we're gonna be watching The Burning.
Yeah, it's Jason Alexander, and it's not that great. Spoiler alert.
Slasher movie, and we'll let you guys know our full review.
Check it out, homies. All right. Well, appreciate you guys. Shout out to Larry Bartels. Be Yourself Adventures. And be kind, rewind, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.